denuncia pública. Se acaban de llevar a Deina, la otra muchacha del video, para el MU. Estamos amotinados, todos mis compañeros aquí. Delta Bravo, Soul Luciana, Facilicente.
You tap into that higher self and get that higher self in the notion that knowing that it is alive is to talk to yourself.
So they must think we're stupid to look at these fires and not recognize a pattern and not see some sort of resemblance of these Washington fires.
But this is a picture of the man who wrote the King James Version of the Bible, or at least he's given the credit for writing it. He was a supreme slave master, King James. And
all right, y'all. Welcome back to the Foundation. A1 Luck here, and you tuned into The Awakening, a channel where each one teach one, and the truth shall set you free. Now, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And also remember to hype me up if it's available. I don't know what's been wrong lately. Sometimes the hype button is there, sometimes it's not. But I'm trying to figure out what even the comments been off lately on my last video. I don't know what happened, but bear with me, y'all. I'm trying to figure it out. But without further ado, let's get woke, people.
عائلة أبو شريعة والحسينة.
جزء خلوه رجعت 14 واحد كلهم هيك يعني مرة واحدة، مش عارفة كيف أحكي، كأنه من أول وجديد، من أول وجديد رجع الوجه. عظمة من يوسف، عظمة من أسيل، عظمة من لانا، عظام مفتفتة يعني ما في شيء. طب سالم، لقيته إشي من سالم، أنا هذا سالم روحي، ولا إشي من سالم ولا إشي. إيه عظام يعني كلهم حطوهم في كيس واحد.
عشيرة أبو شريعة والحسينة فقدت أو في 7 أسر تم مسحها بشكل كامل من السجل المدني، يعني انتهت. في 3 أسر بقي من الأسر فرد واحد.
لن يتم انتشال الجميع. هناك جثامين تبخرت، هناك جثامين اختفت، هناك جثامين تناثرت وأصبح عبارة عن قطع صغيرة ومن الصعب جدا التعرف عليها. إلى متى سيبقى هذا القتل؟ وإلى متى ستبقى جثامين الناس تحت الأنقاض؟ ألم يأن الأوان لأجل أن تدخل المخدرات والمعدات إلى طواقم الدفاع المدني حتى يقوموا بهذا الدور الإنساني؟
It was when we saw that the volcano was already far too explosive, so we had to make the decision to leave because it was either our lives or our belongings. So we had to make decisions because you never know. Situations do happen. Unfortunately, like in 2018, when it was far too late to react, and many families lost their lives.
Y'all really want to know why it's flooding? Like, oh my gosh, what does this mean? It's so hot that Chinese people are sitting in caves. There are thousands of people dying in Europe right now due to a heat wave. It's flooding and it's hot. When? Thousands of people in Detroit do not have power. Pakistan is flooding due to their glaciers melting. And all this is supposed to be natural causes. Let's not forget that this sneaky snake has bought over 270,000 acres of farmland. I've already told y'all that the planet is alive. The trees, the plants, the water. A lot of y'all are waking up to your surroundings due to the planet raising its vibration. So these are the symptoms of it. There are elemental deities working right now, cleaning up this planet. There are a lot of stories of gods or deities coming down with these elemental powers crafting the earth. Greek, Norse, Yoruba. Y'all asking, where is this water coming from? Y'all remember when I told y'all about the ice wall that's holding in the oceans that we have? And y'all know that Pakistan's glaciers are erupting, causing all of this water from the other side to come in. So tell me that y'all don't think that these elemental deities are not making this happen. Okay, let me try to explain this the best way I can. Maps show you exactly what it wants you to see. I'm trying to figure out what goes further than the map. Just like in Game of Thrones, beyond the wall. Okay, so y'all see this map right here. There's a wall right here, and then there's all of our countries. If y'all don't believe...
Alright, y'all. First few clips. After this, I mean, what more? What more must be done? You know, like, this is all that comes out of war. It's nothing more, nothing less. No matter how much power you think you get, no matter... everything is momentarily that comes out of this war, except for these deaths. These deaths that's it. Gone. You understand? Like, when is enough enough? Look at that. That's a mass funeral for so many people. It's just, that's absurd at this time, you know? Like, nobody should have to go through this in life. Nobody. You understand? Like, they needs to stop the warring over the power, whatever they warring for, or whatever they trying to obtain behind the scenes. It's like, enough is enough already. Lives, all these lives is not worth it, man. You understand? But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section. And then the third clip and the fourth clip is just showing like volcanoes now are starting to erupt. And this was in Guatemala. I hope everybody makes it out all right, because they got to get evacuated. Whoever's around that village, that town, they need to get evacuated. Everywhere is being evacuated right now. So a lot of losses happening. That's why we need to rise and elevate people. You know, we got to sink deep in spiritual prayers right now. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section. In the fifth clip, this is exactly pertaining to what I'm saying. Like, even the planet is cleansing. It seems like, you know, like it's nature. Some of it might be nature, some of it might not. But at this point in time, it's starting to really look like the planet is, you know, waking up, like it's cleansing itself. These floods, fires, it's just so much devastation going on right now. You know, volcanoes erupting now, you know, then you're going to have the tornadoes and the storm. Like, it's so much going on, but that's just probably the planet trying to bring a little calm to everything, you know. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section.
Una denuncia pública. Se acaban de llevar a Deina, la otra muchacha del video, para el MU. Estamos amotinados, todos mis compañeros aquí del Tabravo, Soul Luciana Facility Center. Estamos en Soul Luciana Facility Center y nos están amenazando, a mí me están extorsionando y me están acosando. Yo puedo ser la próxima. Nos quitaron los televisores, nos quitaron los teléfonos y nos pueden quitar las tabletas. Vamos, 1, 2, 3. Necesitamos ayuda. El mundo tiene que saber lo que nos están haciendo aquí en este centro de detención de ICE. Nos tienen amenazados. Códigos que no sabemos.
Salieron corriendo a la supervisora porque no sabemos qué pasó en el SMU.
No sabemos qué está pasando con ella ahora mismo en el SMU y estamos preocupados por su seguridad.
¡Respuestas!
¡Respuestas! ¡Ayúdennos!
¡Alza la voz por nosotros! ¡Nos están mandando aquí adentro prácticamente!
¡Nos están matando! ¡Tenemos voz! ¡Por favor! After she did her video, they took her and locked her up. Estamos ahora mismo amotinados defendiendo los derechos de nuestra compañera porque salió con nosotros a defendernos y nos están castigando por decir la verdad. Este país tiene libertad de expresión y nos están callando. Nos quieren silenciar, pero no vamos a parar.
Tenemos hijos, tenemos hijos que nos están esperando, tenemos madres, tenemos familia y necesitamos estar comunicados con ellos 24/7.
Somos seres
no
humanos.
nos podemos dejar.
Somos seres humanos y tenemos derechos. Nos tratan como perros.
Uno, dos y tres.
¡Ayuda!
Por favor, por favor.
I need help. All right, estamos en Solución Center. Haciendo una denuncia.
They locked her up. They just locked her up, so we're not letting them count us or nothing.
Hi, my name is Dana Ricketts, and I'm here at the South Louisiana Ice Processing Center, and I'm called to let the world know about the inhumane condition of the treatment that we've been facing. I personally have been sexually abused by Lieutenant Kansas Green and harassed by Rosetta Guillory, Sergeant Rosa Guillory. Here's a couple of issues that we have at the GEO detainee facility. The menu is causing attacks to 50-70% of the resident population to not able to have frequent bowel movement. Lack of medical staffing with highs the risk of death because the staff takes on an average of 15 minutes to respond to any medical emergency, seizures, pregnancy, mental health issues. Lack of proper medication for all cases. Staffing is short, which leads to a person being locked in or stuck at a gate waiting for keys. This security breaks includes officers as well as residents being at risk should there be a fire or something. No word specific for mental ill patients. Staff need to be retrained for fitness tests and mental health checks. They talk to us and degrade us like we're nothing, and they mount to us as nothing. They falsify statements on us, saying that we do what we do whenever we have a claim. They try to threaten us by putting us in the SMU. Like today, we had to riot because we did not get our medication. We personally had a staff, Martisha, you guys, come in here and call us hoes and bitches. We have so many bad treatment. The food here is not good. Residents are working for $1 a day when really we should not be working at all because we're considered illegal immigrants. The lack of court discrimination, 100% of us is losing our case here in Louisiana. They're discriminated towards us. They don't want us to win our case. They bring us from state to state and bring us here to lose our case. Even when you win your case, people are still sitting here 2 years to be released. This is inhumane condition. Lack of resident resource, not limited to pads, toilet paper, lotion, deodorant, and soap. This is a major ongoing issue because there are illegal immigrants who can't afford commissary. This is not a jail or a prison, but a processing center. But yet, it's a processing center, but yet we're here 2 years and over a year. Unnecessary searches and physical pat-down for food belonging to the residents from the cafeteria. It's insinuating we're thieves for wanting to bring food back to recook raw food. Staff constantly involved in gossiping and speaking publicly on residents' medical records, sexual orientation, personal situation, which is an inventory of privacy. There is no re-entry as it describes in the GEO policy or no dignity. Facilities short that residents have to wait hours before getting ice in 90 to 100 degrees weather. The government's shameful and illegal tactic of using immigration detention on Louisiana as a form of double punishment for those which prior convictions come to an end with this order. It's heartbreaking that people are losing years of their lives in places that amount to nothing. For more than profit prison. Mothers are losing their children, don't know where their children are. They are fear that their children are being human trafficked by ICE. Make no mistake, immigration detention is not about law and order. It's about fattening the pockets of the 4 prisons. The ruling rejects the government's cruel provision of immigration on immigration, using detention to punish people who have already served their time during civil detention into a light sentence with no due process. The decision center on a fundamental constitutional principle. Immigration detention is civil, not criminal, and cannot be used to punish people. Meanwhile, we have these issues. They have a gambling bingo going on, operation going on, that they say is only for staff. But yet, while we have these issues, they cannot, they stop our medication, they do all degrading things to us, and the world needs to know. And that we urge everyone to share this video, pass it on, and save one of your family members who are detained. Thank you.
At least a dozen states may have been compromised.
The number of cyber attacks now growing.
Hackers may have targeted water systems in more states.
Water and wastewater utilities in as many as a dozen states, in addition to those initial 7 that we've already talked about.
It has now been confirmed that at least 12 U.S. states have been hit in attacks on water supply systems. Now, we'd heard a couple days ago that it was 7. Now, this morning, August 4th, 2026, we heard it was 9. And then just a couple of hours ago, it has now been confirmed that at least 12 U.S. states have been hit in water supply attacks. Let's take a look at the latest headlines so that way you can see it for yourself. At least 12 states face cyber attacks on their water systems, sources say. So far, there's been no widespread disruptions to water supplies or treatments, but we're going to get all the details here. As we are hearing, they are trying to shut off the water systems. Here's another one 5 hours ago. Cyber attacks target water systems in at least 12 states, according to the latest reports. U.S. water suspected Iran cyber attacks include 12 states, and we're hearing that they do believe that all of this is pointing towards attacks from Iran on the United States for what is currently going on with the conflict in the Middle East. Now, let me know your thoughts. Do you think this is Iran? This has not yet been confirmed, but they're saying it does look like they are suspecting this is the IRGC doing cyber attacks on U.S. critical infrastructure systems.
You tap into that higher self and get that higher self in the notion that knowing that it is alive is to talk to yourself. This society tell you talking to yourself is crazy. Talking, but you let everybody talk to their damn self. Why would you talk to yourself if nobody else up in that bitch? Talk to yourself more. Also, at this particular time, separate yourself from around dead people. Why? I got some good friends. I love them to death. But they might come around us, they might come in town for a weekend. And every time they come in town for a weekend, we get sick. Why is that? The physical is a cheat. You don't understand what's going on. The more you understand and the more and more you grow in what is called gnosis or knowledge, the divine knowing, the more you disappear from this dimension and you go on different levels of dimension. So you can be in the same body, it can be in 3 or 4 different dimensions from a person who's dead in another dimension. So a lot of times when a dead person comes around, because they don't understand the knowledge that you're trying to get to, you have to suspend your knowledge for a while just to accommodate that dead person. So in order to accommodate that dead person, you got to go back to another dimension that you came from. And because your body is is going to another dimension, it's not conducive to the foulness of that dimension, and you get sick. Just by being around motherfuckers who ain't got the same light. Because that means that you have to shut down your energy to go to that energy. And when you do that shit, you get sick. So every time they come, I catch a cold. I'm like, damn, I was catching a cold in fucking August. Hot ass August. took vitamin C, took echinacea, shit didn't work. Because the energy, I was in another dimension. It was just like being back in Niggerville with no shoes on, outside at down 30 degrees below. So, separate yourself from those who are not of the same energy. We will get them later. Once we illuminate, we will get them later. But right now, you got a job to do. You can't be fucking around with a dead person, because a dead person keeps you dead.
right, y'all, for the first two clips, man, I don't know what's going on in these places with these ICE detentions, but if it's that, it should be just that, you know. It shouldn't have complaining about rape and abuse and this and that, you know, all the disrespect going on. If they detain to do what they got to do, you know, let them go through the process. You don't got to be extra. They don't need to be beaten. They don't need to be abused. They don't need to be misfed, you know. Just keep everything cordial. Why everything must be like people ulterior motives sometimes. It's so crazy, but these women are really crying out for help, and sometimes it's just nothing you could really do, you know. But protest do so, but that don't mean that it will help them at that point in time, you know. They still got to go through it. But I hope everything turns out for all right for them, man, because it really seems like a deep cry for help. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section. And then the third clip is the water supply now is I guess supposed to be hacked, whatever. I guess computers controlling the water supply, when it's supposed to release, when it's supposed to stop. I don't know. But yet the water system is like 12 different attacks already happened now on our soil, like for the water. But I don't understand how that works with the water system, but I guess you can hack the water system now. So if this gets done, I mean, then what? Why is everything going after like the waters and now the hacking? You see the wars, this what the wars is leading to. Now you're going to have your hackers trying. It's only innocent people that's going to feel from these things, you know. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section. And then the fourth clip, you know, all what we need to be focused on, tapping into our higher self. That's it, you know. Sometimes people might say you're crazy if you sit there and talk to yourself, but yet you could elevate yourself because it's you, and then I guess it's your soul, your spirit, you know. You got to have this conversation with self to only better yourself, you know, and understand more. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section.
Is how can all of the pilots and all of the astronauts be in on this? You know, how could everybody, all the scientists, be in on the joke, you know, and deceiving everybody on purpose? It's not like that. It's not like that at all. It's just everyone is deceived. For example, I have a good friend of mine is a pilot. And until I pointed this out to him, he just never even thought about it.
No astronaut who went up in space and saw that the Earth is a flat plane decided to speak up? Exactly. And if they do, boom, they're immediately shut off. They're ridiculed, or they're killed, or their family members, something bad happens. If you question reality in any way, or question the reality that they're pushing, it's not reality. If you question the reality that they're encouraging you to believe, then they shut you down really, really fast. Wow. And so nowadays, that's one of my keys, is what can we talk about, and what can we not talk about? Because if there's things that people can say, and get shut down and destroy, their careers are destroyed, their families are wiped out, or they're murdered, or all these mysterious things happen, what are they talking about? And if they're talking about something that they get killed for, it's like, for me, I want to listen to what they're saying, because probably it's going to be some truth there. Yeah, so that's led me into getting further and further down these rabbit holes, obviously.
So they must think we're stupid to look at these fires and not recognize a pattern, and not see some sort of resemblance of these Washington fires that are in Spokane right now, to the Lahaina fires in Hawaii, to the Palisades fires in California. Look at the aerial footage. Just do that without me saying anything further, and you can see what I'm talking about. The different things that happen in these specific fires that don't seem to happen in many other fires, like where the houses are burned to the ground, disintegrated, every single thing other than some bricks in the chimney, but the houses but the trees around all these houses all have the leaves on them, and there's bushes still intact and brush just on the ground, still intact, not burned. The power lines are still intact, not burned or melted. And all of these places just happen to have either a data center or a smart city be proposed in the same place and get denied a month, 2 months, couple months before these fires happen in each of these places. And I'm not saying it's a fact that this is how it's happening or that I know for sure, but I'm pretty positive on some level that my theory is relative. And two things can be true. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's one or the other, or it could be a combination of both, or there could be other ways it's happening that I don't know of, or that just aren't said right now. One of them would be just, DEWs, direct energy weapons. Whether you understand what that is or what it means or what they are or not, that's neither here nor there, but that's one way. The other way, which I think is more relative to the fires that are happening right now in Spokane, would be smart versions of these. The things on the side of people's homes. Smart meters, which would explain why random houses were untouched. Maybe they're made of different material. I can't say, I don't know that. But this theory ties into a much bigger theory that I have, that's really only understandable if you've seen the movie like Eagle Eye, or movies like iRobot or The Terminator or The Matrix, but I think most importantly, Eagle Eye, so that you understand that it's not where we're going that's gonna happen, it's that we may already be there. And that is multiple videos to unpack in itself. I won't even go deeper in that, but my point is that there's a chance that these things are what's helping create natural disasters like the one right now in Spokane. I'll share my theory, my overall theory, in a different video, but it connects everything. It connects these natural disasters that have been happening for a while, the data centers, the flock cameras, the smart cities, human consciousness, you, me, everything and everyone. So I'm just curious as to what your guys' thoughts are on these fires right now in Spokane, and if you guys see the patterns like I do.
So let me get this straight. Every individual house burned. The trees around it didn't burn. Looked like you just individually burned up each damn house in Spokane, Washington. As if people are stupid enough to believe that that's not done on purpose. You think a wildfire just jumped each house and didn't burn none of the damn trees around? I got people! Damn it!
In just the last hour, a man convicted of killing his own father here in Mesa is now under arrest in Washington state, accused of starting one of the 3 major wildfires that have just destroyed hundreds of homes in Spokane. Police arrested this man, Aaron Farinacci, for arson. He's being held on $1 million bond. Court records show he pleaded guilty to manslaughter for the 2010 shooting death of his father after an apparent fight over doing the dishes. The Old Trails Fire is one of the 3 wildfires burning in and around Spokane right now. As many as 1,100 homes, businesses, and buildings have been destroyed by those fast-moving flames, with more than 60,000 people evacuated since the flames first broke out Saturday, burning more than 12 square miles around the city.
All right. Every now and then I got to throw a little flat earth theory in there, but it's crazy though. But for real, like, all these people as family members out here, cousins, that have these jobs, and for years and years now, basically for a lifetime, even after, like, y'all will cover up this hoax. All the hoax y'all will be part of to cover up, even the pilots. Like, a lot of pilots flew out there and see what's what. Some of them do, some of them don't, but a lot of them could bring this to a calm as to where they could state what the facts is about this place we live on, the earth we live on, but yet they wouldn't. They'll hide the hoax and play along with it. The astronauts do the same thing. None of them really got out to see the planet. Most of these astronauts probably think this world is round too, some of them, that don't know better, but most of them know the secret and they would not tell it. Why is that? Like, come on now, enough is enough already. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section. The second and third clip, good clips, this will always come after. Like, I guess these people at this point in time, they really do think people is just stupid, I guess, because, it's the same pattern, the same things. You see the trees getting burnt, and then, you see no trees getting burnt, but yet all the houses, nothing is left, it's all burnt down, like it was overheat, you understand, like laser, like it was just overheated, you know, and all that heat. The trees, you see most of the trees that's still around these houses, they're intact. The leaves are still on them. From that tremendous amount of heat, from these fires, these trees supposed to be ashes as well, down to rubble if it's going to do that to metal and whatever else, you know, material that's way stronger than the wood, you know. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section. And then, see, this is another thing too. The fourth clip, it goes right into that too, because for the fourth clip now, they trying to say they convicted something like this is a playback like they did with the other wildfires. After the fire, they always get one person, show some little bullshit clip, and then say, oh, this person started one of the wildfires, so we could really believe like people is out here starting these wildfires and it's really real wildfires going on, just to cover up their own self. And they look like they picked the victim because they picked somebody that I guess got away with murder or murdered somebody before. So now he looked like the perfect victim to take the fall for this. And it's nothing you could really do sometimes, you know. But remember, everything in this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only, y'all. But let me know how y'all feel about that, because the same routine plays out. The wildfire, this, you see the trees still standing, and then they got a victim after that. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comment section.
Now, I'm not saying that we've never been to space, and I'm not saying that we've never been to the moon, but I've got a question that I hope you can answer. Why is it that when we look into space, we only see the same stars? I mean, every night, no matter what night, it could be Christmas, it could be your birthday, but anytime we look into space, we see the same stars. Now you see, the problem is this. They tell us that we're spinning through the air at 1,000,000 miles per hour. We should be traveling past different planets, different stars, different constellations. Even the moon is in the same place. Every day, every month, every year. The same thing. So maybe I don't understand science, or maybe I'm just a critical thinker. But when I say something don't make sense, I mean something don't make sense.
So what we did, that Anunnaki, we promised the Nomos another home. We said that after we get through building Planet Kai, we will give you a home down there. So after we got through building Planet Kai, which you know today is Earth, that's exactly what we did. We granted the Nomos a new home. Now, some of them stayed back and waited for the new planet to be created, but most of the Nomos came down here to the Planet Kai with us. So when we sent all our spiritual assassins down to this planet to build up this realm, for it was to be a dojo for all the Anunnaki that was passing through, spirits and souls and ascended masters, a place where you can experience and accelerate your conscious quicker than anywhere else. This what the plan was designed to be. All right, like a second hub, like a second headquarter for the Anunnaki, for us. We also sent the Nomos down here because we had offered to get them a new home. The Nomos, when they descended down here, many of them already being aquatic like, took on the form of what you now know today as dolphins and whales. So when you see dolphins and you see whales, you are literally looking at the Nomos in physical manifestation.
Guys, at this point, we have to stop with this, all right? This is absolutely wild. Like, it clearly does not look like meat. He had the nerve to say it was 3D printed. That's impossible. Something is going on here, guys, and we need to take a break from meat, period. Straight up, bro. This looks like Twizzlers. Something is up with this. I'm not sure if this is ribs or something. I don't know what this is, but it looks like layers. Allegedly. This is what people are saying. I go to the grocery store all the time. I don't see meat like this. But it's so obvious that it's not real. Or is it? Allegedly. This is real meat. They bought it at the store. Something is going on here, guys. And I think we need to take a break from this. We need to start examining the food that we put in our stomachs, because this doesn't look real, even if it is real. But of course, guys, entertainment purposes only. This looks nice and tender. Put it on a barbecue grill. See what happens. I don't know what this is. Let me know if you know what this is. I'm out.
All right. First, that's a good clip, but I always wonder that too. Like, when you look up at the star system, if there's a space out there, like they say, is this, it's supposed to be this moving through it. You're supposed to see way more. It's supposed to be not always for all my life. You go outside, you see the same stars positioned in exactly the same place. Nothing moves. It's just like a big reflection. To me, it's like a hologram up there for all these years. Just a hologram, nothing more, because you don't see nothing. We could see so far as to where we're seeing stars at so far, but we can't see nothing in between, no movement, no nothing up there in this vast universe. Like, come on now. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section. The second clip, this is because to know, like we had, I guess there was relatives, the normals, but to know they came down, I guess, on this to obtain, just like we obtain our bodies, I guess they went to the seas and obtained the whales. They supposed to be, I guess, the whales and the dolphins, and this is why some of these sea creatures are so small, because in all reality, they're actually relatives, just taking up a different form, I guess, for this dimension. But let me know how y'all feel about that in the comment section. Then the third clip, just had to throw something that in there to just still be aware of the food we're gonna eat, because the 3D printed in the lab and all this is out of hand. So make sure and check through your groceries properly when you do decide if you're gonna eat the meat, or check it properly, just to be on the safe side.
But this is a picture of the man who wrote the King James Version of the Bible, or at least he's given the credit for writing it. He was a supreme slave master, King James. In fact, it was King James who threw slavery into high gear. In fact, the slaves were brought to Jamestown. They named, in 1619, they named the place where they brought the first slaves after King James, the Bible man. Okay, so we have to start really looking at these things. Of course, King James dealt very, very highly in witchcraft. Most of us are familiar with his book, the Bible, but how many are you familiar with his other book? Is there anybody in here familiar with his other book? He also wrote a book on witchcraft. And this is a library book of King James's book on witchcraft. Does that shock anybody in here? In his book, he deals with the whole art. In this particular book on witchcraft, he deals with the art of imitation. See, the media is all about imitation. King James I, demonology.
His friends decided to play the Ouija board, but something extremely terrifying ended up happening, that they even have to move out of the house after a few days. At first, they were extremely skeptical about the whole situation, but then extremely strange things started happening throughout the video. One of the first things you can see in the video is that one of the door cabinets opened by itself in the back, and this was completely unnoticed by the friends. But I think what made things worse, it was that they started saying that playing the Ouija board was fake, and that's where more paranormal things started happening. And throughout the video, you can see several orbs floating around. What shocks me the most about the video is how they were able to experience paranormal things from a Ouija board that seems to have been made by a 5-year-old. But something even more terrifying happened at the end of the video that made everyone run out of the room. This thing you see here comes out flying. Check it out.
So I guess I'm the only person in Louisville that never seen this tree in person. And I bumped into it on accident today. I ain't never just went looking for this motherfucking tree, but what's the truth behind this? Like, what? They call it the witch tree, so what's going on for real, for real? What really? Now I want to know. What's the truth behind this shit right here? Shit a little crazy, man. I don't think I would put nothing personal on this tree right here.
Basini showroom, di karashai, batakani chabara ngoro kore iara da shimri da wali da zaka washe mia mabakuru ukukuru zerek akare zia samale uka ingana bohorata.
Alright, y'all. We reached the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. And also remember to hype me up if it's available. But before we leave, I'd love to leave you with a few words. Who can't hear must feel. Those that feels it, knows it. And once you know better, you do better. And the truth will always set you free. I'm out.